Welcome back to my course on life writing and poetic autoethnography. In today's workshop, we're going to deal with a particularly important stage before the actual writing, or at least writing as a complete document of the poetic autoethnography. This is where we are in the overview of the research process. We're going to combine two levels for peer discussion and thematic analysis. The reason we combine these two together is that this is something you do by yourself, but it's in conversation with another person. So the outcome of this will be a two-page statement about the meaning and stages of your chosen experience. This statement will change by the end of the writing process, but the important piece here is that this is a way of preparing you to have a good understanding preceding your work about the stages and hidden meanings found within your own experience. And this is very, very helpful in setting up the actual writing process for the poetic autoethnography. So how does this work? What's the peer conversation process like? Well, first off, you're going to reread and reflect on all the work you have done in relation to your research question. I'll be more specific about this in just 1 second. You'll prepare a written two-page statement about the experience, and this is your basic working document, your map, if you like, and your core understanding of what's going to be in your poetic autoethnography. And then you're going to present this in a conversational manner to a partner, and you're going to have a conversation about what your experiences mean, how they develop, and so on. So what's the personal preparation for this process? Collect the full set of data you have generated and collected concerning your research question. Immerse yourself in all the different materials and information you have, and just start by taking notes on your impressions as if you're reading about someone else, as if you're reading someone else's experiences, but sort of really immerse yourself in the materials. Consider the following. What actually happened? Is there a transition of emotions during this experience? There nearly always is. What is that transition? How is what I often call the emotional sonata presented in this work? What do you think connects and characterizes the experiences you have had? Do you see any changes or developments? Is there a process of development here? Are you the same at the beginning, in the middle, and at the end? What happened? Do you recognize any recursive themes in your description of your experience? What societal, discursive, and contextual forces have played a role in this experience? Once you've answered all those questions, try to prepare a two-page written version of your understanding of this experience. I'd also like you to practice talking about this experience. So practice before you meet with another person. So practice talking about it. It's very important, as I always say, to feel safe and trust your chosen discussion partner with the details of your experiences. Please choose carefully who you work with. And it's probably better if you're telling somebody who's close to you or at least knows you well. As always, before we start, find a quiet room to work with your peer partner. Make coffee, cake, biscuits, sandwiches perhaps, and make yourself as comfortable as you can. Present to your partner in a conversational manner the experience you are exploring. This is one of the reasons I'd like you to practice beforehand. I don't want you reading off a page. I'd prefer you to be more conversational and interactional. Try to lay out the stages of the experience, the emotional development, what influences you think were present, and what the experience means to you. Encourage your partner to express their thoughts and feelings in response to your presentation. This should be a caring, empathetic interaction in which you discuss and talk about your experience. Once you've had your discussion with your partner, please revise the statement you wrote about your experience. Try to incorporate the ways in which your partner understood and responded to your presentation. This is a different way of saying don't be defensive about how you're presenting and how you're understanding what happened to you. Try to look at it and see it from someone else's perspective in addition to your own, and try to see if there are any cracks in the way you have presented this, and try to incorporate those. In some cases there usually is ambiguity. It's okay to be ambiguous. It's okay to have 2 or 3 different versions of how you understand what happened. So at the end of this process, I'd like you to have a rewritten 2-page statement of your understanding of your experience. Please don't rush this process. I know that when you do a research project, there is always this push to get to the writing of the paper. But this stage is actually very important, and if you do it well, the actual writing of the autoethnography will be much easier. With that, I thank you for listening. I hope this has been helpful in preparing you for the next stage, and I'll see you in our next video workshop.